Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Monday, July 1st, 2013. It is the start of a new quarter, also the start of the second half of the trading year. Let's jump right into the charts here. We'll start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. You'll see that the futures are trading higher by 6.5 points this morning to 1605.75. So a decent little start to the second half of the new trading year, but nonetheless, the futures have come off the highs a little bit. We'll see if they can hold up today. Normally, Mondays can be a little bit of a volatile trading session. This is also a holiday today in the Canadian market, so it is Canada Day today. So happy Canada Day to all the people and viewers up in Canada. We also will have the 4th of July holiday, Independence Day holiday in the United States on Thursday. So this is going to be a lighter volume trading week overall, in my opinion. And then Friday we'll have the important job number for the U.S. Labor Department. So there's going to definitely be some economic or some movement here. But for the most part, when you have holidays like this, the volume will generally be a little bit on the lighter side. So we all need to take that into consideration. Now, last night there was some news out of China. It looks like China reported their manufacturing PMI. It looks like the index declined to 50.1. That is lower than expected, and really any reading below 50 indicates contraction. I think the Chinese market, the Shanghai composite, really needs to be followed closely, but the index held up pretty well. You could take a look here. Rallied up a little bit, so the Shanghai index did finish positive last night, and a little bit of a surprise, but that's the way it is sometimes. That was up about 0.8%. You also had a little bit of a rally in the Japanese Nikkei 225. That was up 1.28%. So there was some good action last night in the Asian markets for the most part. I really think the only index that looked like it finished negative last night was the FTSE Straits Times Index, which is Singapore. That was down about 0.3%. But other than that, everything in Asia last night was up for the most part. It wasn't soaring and roaring, but it was up decently, and really no problems there. I thought Asia would come under a little bit of pressure last night, but really no problems out of the Asian markets last night. They've all held up pretty well. Even the Shanghai index, after the Shanghai composite, I should say, after that weak PMI number. So we're going to again watch this pretty closely. We'll see how these markets react today. The volume could be a little bit on the lighter side, but I'm thinking today would be more of a normal trading day, and then volume will get a little bit lighter maybe on Wednesday, and then the markets will be closed for the Independence Day holiday in the United States on Thursday. So we'll see how that all plays out and shakes out. So don't take anything for granted today in this stock market. Looking at a couple of other things here, let's just get back to the ES futures, which are now higher by about 7 points. Looking at these markets, you do have some stocks out here making some news. ONXX is Onyx Pharmaceuticals. It looks like this stock is soaring and roaring today. It looks like they rejected a takeover bid from Amgen, which was for about $120 a share. Looks like they rejected the offer and the takeover offer, and the stock is moving higher on the news. This is not a stock that you want to short right now because it is a takeover candidate. It probably has a takeover premium built into it. Since Amgen was willing to bid $120 a share, you probably got to look at this thing holding up around this level. I would not be a buyer up here, but either way you slice it or dice it, we'll see if another buyer comes in. If somebody doesn't come in to buy them, then obviously the stock will pull back sharply. But right now it's got a takeover premium built into it, and you want to respect that at least at the moment. Also looks like 3M was downgraded today by somebody, so this stock has a lot of support around the 107.50 level still. If it breaks through there, then it could be vulnerable to further declines, but right now still a lot of support around the 107.50 level at the moment. There will be some economic news out a little bit later. I believe that the U.S. ISM Manufacturing Index will be released around 10 o'clock. I don't know how much of a bearing or how much of an effect this reading or this this economic data is going to have on the markets. Right now, the markets, in my opinion, really care about two things. One is the U.S. Yield on the 10-year Treasury note. Right now, that's around 2.53%. So if that starts to inch up a little bit higher, that will be problematic. The other thing is the markets will watch the dollar yen. But right now, the yields, especially on the 10-year, seem to be the most important thing out there at the moment. So I think traders should watch for that. Traders also may want to watch BlackBerry, or Research in Motion as it's known. This stock is definitely on the weaker side today. You could take a look here at RIM today, trading down right to that even $10 number. So there is some support there, but ultimately I would watch a lower level around 9.25. If it does get there, that will be pretty good support. It may hold up at the $10 level, but nonetheless, this stock has seen a lot of downgrades, especially after its earnings last week were very, very disappointing. Taking a look over at gold and oil today, we do have gold higher by about $10 to around $12.35 an ounce. If we take a look at the GLD, which is a good proxy for gold, you'll see that's trading at around 119.50. Not a big deal there because it closed at 119.11 on Friday, but it is nonetheless upticking a little bit. When we take a look at light sweet crude today, you'll see that light sweet crude is catching a pretty good bid today. That's up 83 cents to $97.37 a barrel. We take a look at the USO, which is a good proxy for light sweet crude. You'll see that's trading around 34.50 right now. Crude does have a slight upside bias, in my opinion. Anytime you're going into a heavy driving season or holiday season where people will be flying, people will be driving, oil generally gets a bid, and that's kind of the way it works. It's been working like that for many, many years before any major holiday or any major driving season. Oil and energy will get a bid usually before that, and that seems to be what's happening right now in the oil markets. There is some conflict in the Middle East, which always keeps a premium in oil, but nonetheless, right now you do have the heavy driving season coming upon us as the summer begins. So just realize with the big holiday this week, oil generally will not go down. At least we don't suspect it will. You can also keep a look at the U.S. dollar index. You'll see that's pretty much flat today. Although it is off the lows, it is basically flat on the session, but it has had a good little bounce. If the dollar can get more of a bid, that will pull oil down a little bit, but ultimately I'm not sure we're going to see that. Right now the dollar seems to be pretty steady around this area, either way you slice it or dice it. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to get through today. We will have a couple of gap plays. They'll be posted up at 9 o'clock in the morning in the chat room. So those of you looking for that, and it will not be Onyx, it will be a couple of other plays which I think are pretty solid. So those of you that want to come over to the chat room, give it a try. We have a 7-day free trial there, and you'll also get my morning gap plays posted at 9 a.m. in the chat room. All right, so with that said, everybody, I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we'll see how this market unfolds. But don't take anything for granted, because today is probably going to be the more volatile of the trading sessions throughout the week, as it is more of a normal day, and then the market will get lighter as the holiday approaches. With that said, everybody, I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we'll see you on the charts. Take care now.